All right, guys. Hey, so we're going to continue building on uh these equations, okay? So, one-step equations, addition and subtraction. So, you're going to notice that we have three different scales, okay? Now, each scale is even and balanced, but we're missing something here to make it even and balanced. Here and here. So I'm going to think about what's missing, right? 11 minus what will give us 6. That's going to be 5. 11 minus 5 will give us 6. 6 is equal to 6, and that's why our scales are balanced, okay? 4 plus a number will give us 10. That number is going to be 6. 10 equals 10, and that's why our scales are balanced, okay? 12 plus a number will give us 15. That number is going to be 12. 3 plus 12 gives us 15, and now our scales are balanced, okay? Now this leads us directly into what's next, which is our kind of definitions and our missing words, okay? So when we are solving equations, it allows us to find a missing value or what we call a variable, okay? So the variable must be alone or isolated on one side, okay, of the equation. And we're going to isolate the variable by using the inverse operation. And in case you don't know what inverse means, it means the opposite operation. So if we're adding, we're subtracting. If we're subtracting, we're going to add. Now, again, we're using scales because we want to make sure that we're keeping our equation balanced. And we can always check our solutions by plugging in our answers back into the equation. So something that's going to stand out here is going to be our key, okay? And our key is right here. It tells us that every one of these tall, long rectangles with an X means it's a positive X. Any tall, long box or rectangle with a negative X means it's a negative variable. All of our small ones are going to be positives. All of our small negative ones will be negative. I don't have a value here for that, okay? So now let's talk about what we have. I have 1x, 1, 2, 3, 4 positives. I have an equal sign. And I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 positives. So that's my equation. I'm going to rewrite it here so that now I can solve it. All right, again, so this is what we're talking about when we're talking about things being balanced. I have to get this x by itself, which means I have to do the opposite of adding 4. And the opposite of adding 4 is going to be subtracting 4, and those cancel each other out. But what I do to one side of the equation, or the equal sign, I have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 4 from here as well. Therefore, 10 minus 4 is 6. X is equal to 6. All right, let's keep going. Here I have an x plus 2 equal sign 2, 4, 6. All right. I'm going to rewrite my equation so that I can solve. The opposite of plus 2 is going to be minus 2. I'm going to do it to both sides. And x equals 4. All right, let's do it for the next one. Here, I have the variable on the other side. That's perfectly fine. We're going to do the same process. I have 4 positive 1s. That's going to be 4. Equal sign 1 plus a positive variable, and in this case, it's x. So both my number and my variable are positive, which means I'm going to subtract 1 from here. What I do to one side, I do to the other. And this can be written as 3 equals x, or x equals 3. Either way, it's the same thing. Okay, let's keep going. All right, we got a few more pictures here. Let's get into it. Cool. So here I have an x minus 2 equals positive 4, right? Cool. I'm going to rewrite it up here so that now I can solve it. I have to do the opposite of minus 2, which is going to be plus 2. I do it to both sides of my equation. Therefore, x is equal to 6. Do the next one. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So I'll start with my positive 9. I have my equal sign, so I'll write it. I have my x, so I'll write it. And I have a negative 1, so that'll look like minus 1 there. Remember, I'm isolating my variable, so I'm going to do the opposite of minus 1, which is add 1, and the opposite of minus 1, which is add 1. Here, 10 is equal to x. All right, so this stuff isn't that bad. It's just kind of new, okay? Let's keep going. All right. Okay, awesome. So I have to get my x by itself. I'm going to add 6 to one side, add 6 to the other. X is equal to 18. And then I'm going to rewrite my equation here. But instead of writing x, I'm going to put its value. Okay? This should look like 18 minus 6 is equal to 12. We know 18 minus 6 is 12. Therefore, this is a true statement. I'm just going to plot my dot here. It doesn't mean it has to go here. I could have labeled this 18, 19, 20, 16, 17, 18, 17, 18, 19. I'm just putting it in the middle so it stands out. That's all. Okay? Let's keep going. Number 7, isolate my variable. The opposite of plus 5 is minus 5. X is equal to 6 because 11 minus 5 is 6. Then I'm going to rewrite my equation by plugging in the value of my variable where my variable is. 6 plus 5 equals 11. We know that's true. I'm going to place my variable right here. X is equal to 6. And I'm just going to do the rest with everything else. That's it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let's finish this up. To get my x alone, I have to do the opposite. So minus 2 is going to be plus 2. I do it to both sides. 15 plus 2 is 17. 17 is equal to x. I'm going to plug in my 17 where my x was. 15 equals 17 minus 2. 15 is equal to 15. I'll place my dot right here. It's the value of my variable, and the value of my variable will be 17 here. Isolate my variable. I'm going to subtract 4 to both sides. 13 is equal to x. Rewriting my original equation, but with the value of my variable this time. 17 is equal to 17. That is a true statement. X is equal to 13. All right, let's keep going. Isolate my variable by doing the opposite or inverse. Plus 19 should be minus 19, and I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides. When I do that, you'll see I have to do this and this. That gives me 16. Therefore, x equals 16. And then I'll plug it in. 16 plus 19 equals 35. We know that's going to be true. And I'm going to plot my dot right there as it represents my variable, which in this case has a value of 16. Here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 22 to both sides. add 22 to both sides. Here I'll get 8 and 6, therefore 68 is equal to x. I'll rewrite my equation and plug that in. 68 minus 22. 46 does equal 46. I'll plot my dot, and that's going to be my variable. The variable has a value of 68. Final two. Let's go ahead and knock these out. Isolating my variable, I'm going to do the inverse operation. So instead of minus 27, it's plus 27. They cancel each other out. Plus 27, that gives me 8 and 5. X is equal to 58. Rewrite my equation. 58 minus 27 equals 31. That is true. Plot my dot. Dot is the value of my variable, which in this case is 58. Next one, isolate my variable by doing the inverse operation. I'm going to subtract 33 from both sides. When I do that, I get 1, 2, 21 is equal to x, or x is equal to 21. Rewrite my original equation, but substitute the variable with the actual value. Plot my dot. It's the value of my variable, which in this case is 21. That's really all it is, guys. I hope that was super helpful, and I'll see you guys later.